hard to know whether to ask you about the game or the fact that you guys are officially eliminated from the play-in. What's uppermost on your mind right now?
Yeah, I think we can start backwards. I think understanding our record or being eliminated isn't something that we want to be at, and we got some work to do this summer. But understand things happen. It wasn't our season. We got to learn from this, and we'll get better. The first part of your question is, those guys in the locker room, they were pros. They came out and did their job. Everyone played, and we played our young guys a lot tonight. And so, understanding we didn't win the game, but those guys played hard, and they put themselves in a position to win that game, and we just came up short.
How hard is it to stomach basically waving the white flag to end the season?
Just understanding it's not so much waving the white flag. It's, decisions sometimes are hard in this business, and you have to make hard decisions. And we're trying to build a championship team, and sometimes you got to take a step back. And understanding, again, with this decision. This is maybe a step back, but hopefully it leads to going forward, and again, it's not always, easy to make decisions, but these are decisions that are made from my bosses, and we got to, follow them, and we trust Cuban and Nico are going to, put the pieces together to put us in a position to win a championship, and so that's just starting the process today.
As the person in charge of the locker room, I mean, you're not management, but you're not a player. Do you feel like you will need to smooth over any feelings of the players at all because of this decision? The fact that you guys still had a shot at the playoffs before the decision.
I don't think I have to smooth over anything with the players. I'm very honest with the players. I was very honest with them before the game, and I said that those guys are in that locker room were pros. They played hard. That's what I asked them to do, and they did it. And that first half, those guys, the ball was moving. Defensively was great. I think that group that was in there last got a little tired, but we played them heavy minutes, and we got to see the younger guys play. When you look at AJ and those guys and Wright, those guys, did their part. And so understanding that, and we'll see those guys again on Sunday. But, the big thing is, we just have to get better all the way around.
You played Luka the first basically offensive possession of the second quarter. What was kind of the thought process of extending his stint?
Yeah, I think to get him, ovation coming out for what he's done this year for this franchise. Ending his normal run, he wouldn't get the standing O. So to be able to get him in the post, get him a score, and then for him to take a foul to come out so that people could recognize him coming out, that was the thought behind all that as we started. We told him before the game that he was going to go the whole first, and then let's figure out a way to get you, a standing O and respect for what you've done for this organization this year.
What did you think about the ovation?
I thought it was great. Again, for what he's done, his stats are incredible, and so it's well deserved. He's one of the best players in the world.
Have you decided, Jason, if any of those top guys will play on Sunday or not?
Most likely the group that you saw today, you're going to probably seek, that same group sitting on the sideline. Maybe one might play, but it's going to, Luka's not going to participate Sunday. So Luka and Kai will not play Sunday, and there's going to be some other ones that won't play Sunday either.
Coach, what's the number one thing you think as a team that y'all can improve on this summer going into next season?
That's a great question. I would probably start with chemistry. That would be the number one thing that we'll focus on.
How?
Well, can you give us a summer to try to figure that out?
Good luck.
Thanks.
Defense part of that. defense part of chemistry? I mean, where did last year's defense go that you never found it this year?
That's a great question, Tim. Where did it go? It was inconsistent. That's in this league, the teams that are top four, are a little bit more consistent on both ends of the floor. We were inconsistent. Offense probably was the closest thing to being consistent for us this year, and so we got to get back to looking at how we can be better defensively on a consistent basis, and not just for one quarter or 2 quarters a game. We got to learn understanding last year, and I said this before the season started. This is a different team. This was different. Some listened to that, some didn't. But understanding that defense wins championships, not just offense.
Mr. Kidd, I'm from Slovenia. Can I ask one question?
Yes, sir.
You had like hundreds of fans from Slovenia tonight in the arena. They're trying to learn to understand what happened tonight. You feel sorry for them in any way because the game probably wasn't as they expected before they traveled for thousands of miles, spending a lot of money?
Yeah, that's a tough call. It's a great question. I don't think Luka played last year. And so just understanding he wanted to play and he played, but just understanding there's a different plan in place and things changed in the league quickly. And so things changed this morning with the direction that we were going into. And so unfortunately, not unfortunately, but he's part of the team and he has to understand that, and he did. But he played 14 more minutes than he did last year when this game took place. And so I know he is going to do everything he can for his national team to make up for those people who flew here. But sometimes things just don't work out the way that, some wanted to.
Coach, you talked about the players' defense chemistry getting better. What areas can you and the coaching staff improve on heading into the next season?
Yeah, I think we can improve on everything. When you look at the defensive schemes, understanding the offensive schemes and putting players in better positions, we'll have a little bit more time. But understanding this roster, it's always dictated on the roster. So you got to wait to the roster because there's going to be a lot of people who aren't back, So there's going to be new faces and there's going to be some that come back. But we don't, as coaches, know, and the last names do have an impact on schemes, both offensively and defensively. And so, we have to wait to see what that roster looks like.
Coach Kidd, what do you think of A.J. Lawson's performance, and could you see him working himself into the rotation going forward?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's early for rotation, but if for some of you sitting here, rotation could be 15. So just understanding he's worked extremely hard. He's one of our two-ways. And so his future is very bright. We're excited about not just what he did tonight, but what we have planned for him to work this summer. And then you never know if he can crack that rotation again. With the roster, it will be dictated on what those last names are and who's back and who's going to be new.
Would you say you're confident Kyrie will be back, or is that too strong?
If I was a betting man, I guess I would say he would be back. Why would I say he wouldn't? So confident, that's too strong? I think Cuban made that clear. He's the number one priority to have him come back. So I would second that.
You think he's a max player?
Oh, I'm not into paying the bills around here. I'll leave that to Mark to decide on, and Nico to decide on what his value is.
It's kind of hard to eliminate losses from the equation, but do you think that all things considered you guys created, that he liked the atmosphere, being part of the Mavericks, and that will help draw him back?
Yeah, I think he's enjoyed his time here. I think he's at peace. I think he has enjoyed being a Maverick, and I think hopefully I'm not talking out of turn that he wants to be here. And so hopefully that's the case. When you talk about the talent and the match of him and Luka, is pretty dynamic. So, but he has the option. Very few are free agents, and so he has that opportunity to explore. So, but hopefully we've done everything to position him to want to stay. But it's up to Cube and Nico to figure that out.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. AJ.